Coming up, Zohran Mamdani makes waves, new funding for social housing, defending TOPA, and how you can join the socialist fight. But first, the spending bill that robs the poor to give to the rich. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MDC Dispatch. I'm your host, Tony, and I'll be bringing you the news and events from Metro DC DSA. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and be on the lookout for a new Dispatch episode every first and third Sunday of each month. Midweek brought some light with the big nightmare of a bill in apparent peril as it headed back to the House for a final vote. But after numerous discussions, arguments, and forced persuasion, the House Republicans finally passed the bill. The Democrats' minority failed to stop it from passing. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries held the floor for more than 8 hours in an attempt to delay the vote. This gesture was ultimately meaningless in the absence of any further plan to stop the bill. The hideous bill will destructively reverberate throughout D.C. and the whole of the United States with unprecedented impacts to all people. In a reverse Robin Hood, Republicans have imposed cuts and stricter requirements on Medicaid, the ACA, and the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, all to make sure the top 1% in America can get their abhorrent tax cuts and pocket even more money. This means D.C. residents who depend on health care through Medicaid and those who need SNAP, especially as unemployment continues to rise, will lose coverage under this new bill. To spell this out in numbers, nearly 12 million more people will be without insurance by 2034, according to CBO estimates, putting their lives in grave danger. Hospitals, nursing homes, and community health centers would feel the blow by having to treat more uninsured people and absorb the costs, which could lead them to reduce services, employees, or even shut down altogether, most especially in rural areas where they are sorely needed. Equally ghoulish is the massive expansion of ICE's budget. The Gestapo-like agency will have more funding than any federal enforcement agency has had in history. Its budget will jump from $3.4 billion to more than $45 billion, while millions lose their health care coverage and other social safety net benefits. ICE will be able to detain more people than the 150,000 held in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Mayor Bowser has attempted to remove DC's sanctuary city status, even though she signed it in 2019, but the DC Council put a pause on the repeal. Still, Congress may have the last say and completely nullify it. Added to this unseemly and overly inflated budget are massive monetary increases to ICE's transportation and removal operations, along with expansion of its Gestapo workforce. What does this mean? Currently, ICE has about 13 planes readily available to use for deportations, but with more than $10 billion for removal, they would be able to expand their use of aircraft obtained through private contractors and increase deportations through more staffing. But wait, there's more. Money's being thrown at Alligator Alcatraz, a makeshift detention facility found in the deep marsh wetlands of the Florida Everglades, intended to imprison 3,000 migrants or more. It's expected to cost $450 million to operate for just one single year. Imagine how many people could be housed, fed, and provided with health care for just that amount. Instead, money is being wasted on imprisoning people who are searching for a safer and better life. The bill's cruelty doesn't end there, but suffice it to say that it will further enrich billionaires and slash away from everyone else. Even as the GOP tried to use the bill as a way to rein in government spending, the bottom line, it's going to make the deficit jump by $3.3 trillion through 2034. So we will never let them forget that. Montgomery County Council members, those that represent me, have introduced legislation to fund social housing. The bill would levy a tax on property owners for demolishing single-family housing and then replacing it with larger single-family housing. The revenue from the tax would go to the County Housing Production Fund. We're urging folks, especially our MoCo branch comrades and allies, to encourage the council to pass the legislation. We've made it easy for you with an action alert form at the link in the show notes. Stomp Out Slumlords, our tenant organizing working group, is seeking locations in D.C. to canvass for TOPA, the Tenant Opportunity to Purchase Act. Help us fight the landlord lobby, especially as Mayor Bowser continues to push her austere Rental Act, a bill that would completely undermine the spirit of TOPA. If you live in a building and you're ready to organize, fill out the form in the link below. Some sad news. One of our beloved comrades in Metro DC DSA, David Schwartzman, has passed away. Schwartzman was a professor, scientist, writer, DC organizer with the Statehood Green Party, and deep thinker. Every chapter of his life was defined by the struggle for a better future and humanity, and we are so sad to lose him. There will be another 9/11 in NYC. Far-right and racist activist Laura Loomer posted on X when Zohran Mamdani successfully won the New York City mayoral primary in late June. Tennessee Representative Andy Ogles also called for his deportation and denaturalization proceedings through a post on X while hurling racist rhetoric at him. A deluge of Islamophobic attacks continued from conservative and Republican circles as they saw the threat of the 33-year-old Democratic Socialist rise to popularity. But some Democrats who are feeling threatened by Mamdani's rise, not only in New York but across the U.S., have also made backhanded comments, including Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, who claimed Mamdani had called for a global jihad. This is a blatant racist lie. Democrats have been split. Some have come forth to support Mamdani as he faces extreme xenophobic threats from many on the right, while others have fanned the flames. Let's be clear. Mamdani's campaign has consistently been in support of working-class New Yorkers. His platform includes stopping ICE from rounding up, imprisoning, and deporting people at whim, freezing rent hikes, building affordable housing, strengthening social services, creating city-owned grocery stores, and so much more. His grassroots campaign is a shining example and template for progressive candidates to replicate because the people have had enough of both ruling classes, on the right and the left. Once he resoundingly defeated Cuomo, Trump began his attacks on Mamdani, and has escalated, even threatening him with deportation. We're going to be watching that very carefully. And a lot of people are saying he's here illegally, Trump declared. Again, more lies. Mamdani was born in Uganda before his family legally immigrated to the U.S. over 2 decades ago. He obtained U.S. citizenship through legal naturalization in 2018. But Trump wants to silence anyone who stands against his dictatorial and cruel policies through retaliation by freezing federal funds and throwing them in prison, eventually kicking them out of the country. These threats are just another new low in the U.S. as authoritarianism continues to encroach on civil liberties, or what's left of them. But Mamdani has kept his cool throughout these threats. This didn't just represent an attack on our democracy, he said, but an attempt to send a message to every New Yorker who refuses to hide in the shadows. If you speak up, they will come for you. As Mamdani has said, this is not intimidation anyone should ever accept. We have to continue to fight and push against this dictatorial regime. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. Join our chapter for any of the huge slate of events coming up in the next few weeks. RSVPs linked in the description. Our chapter's next general body meeting is next Sunday, July 13th, in person and online. Are you new to DSA? Or new to socialism in general, but inspired by Zohran's victory in New York City? Join our chapter on July 14th for an educational event, Socialism 101, and learn how to plug into our network. Our electoral working group is hosting a 2-day electoral organizing training on July 26th and 27th. More Than Just DSA is hosting events in the coming weeks, so are many other groups. Here are a few other upcoming events. One we highly recommend attending is Third Space Politics, July Reading Series, on the 17th and 30th of this month. Participants will gather to discuss how Americans came to idolize a document that fails them by Aziz Rana and other matters related to the U.S. Constitution and democracy. Find these activities and many more at the calendar of events on our website or in our full weekly update, linked in the description. Democratic Socialists of America is growing. If you're not a member of DSA and would like to connect with other like-minded activists, community organizers, and neighbors, visit dsausa.org and join today. Metro DC DSA is the 3rd largest chapter in America with over 2,000 members. We are very active in the community and have groups focused on labor, tenant rights, LGBTQ rights, environmental activism, and more. DSA is the largest socialist organization in America, and we would love to have you as a member. These and other stories, along with links and sources, can be found in the Metro DC DSA Weekly Update newsletter, which you can find linked in the description. This production has been a collaboration of members of Metro DC DSA. Look for new videos on the first and third Sunday every month. I'm your host, Tony. A better world is possible.